Hello friends, I'm Dr. Ankur. Welcome to BLK Pediatric Practice. Today I will be discussing about umbilical lines. In this topic, I'm not going into the detail how to insert an umbilical catheter, rather to be brief what difficulty we generally faced in day-to-day practices. So first is catheter material. So if you look at the catheter material in the market, they are available in the form of silicone, polyurethane, polyvinyl chloride. However, the silicon and polyurethane are biocompatible and hemocompatible. That means they are least thrombogenic, they are heat stable, and they last longer, having a long dwelling time. They are soft. Even polyurethane material, once you insert in the body, the moment they come into the contact with body fluid, they get softened. However, material like PVC, polyvinyl chloride, and Teflon, they contain DEHP chemical known as a diethyl hexyl phthalate. They are being used to make it soften and elastic. However, it is found that it is toxic for a newborn and it can damage testes, ovary, and can lead to chronic lung disease. The chances of getting it rupture inside the body is least with silicone and polyurethane. That's why the cost would be high. We should not use alcohol to clean the catheter because it can damage the catheter also. If you look at the size, so size are present in form of French or G. One French is equal to 0.33 millimeter. So suppose if the catheter is 5 French, that means it is 5 into 0.33 is equal to 1.65 millimeter approximately. However, the internal diameter is generally half of the outer diameter. If you compare it with the silicone versus polyurethane, so polyurethane has a larger internal diameter compared with same size of silicone. How to calculate the length of insertion for umbilical venous catheter? There are various charts are available, but most of the charts overestimate the catheter tip locations. That is why the recent data suggests that we should use modified Shukla method. Here, we calculate on the basis of birth weight in kilogram into 3 plus 9, that is for umbilical artery catheter distance. For umbilical venous, divide by 2, that would be the ideal catheter length. But we have to add 1 centimeter for a stump. If it is present, if this stump is not there, we should not add any extra length. Preparation is very important part of any catheter handling because the risk of catheter related bloodstream infections would be high if you breach during these preparations. There are 5 components. Hand hygiene, we should follow the WHO guidelines of 11 steps, 40 to 60 seconds of hand washing followed by drying. It decreases the colonization up to in the range of 70%. MSB, the maximum sterile barrier, that means we have to use cap, mask, sterile gown, sterile gloves. Third is the skin preparation. We can use either alcohol or chlorhexidine, 30 seconds cleaning time, 30 seconds drying time. And apart from that, we have to prepare the sterile fill and as well as the patient and sterile barrier. We should not use povidone iodine material for skin preparation because the risk of thyroid dysfunction is in the range of 5%. When we look for the size of catheter for umbilical artery, we should always use single lumen because the risk of thrombosis would be high if you use a double lumen catheter. For infant less than 1.2 kg, we have to use 3.5 French catheter. For infant more than 1.2 kg, we should use 5 French catheter. For umbilical vein, better to use single lumen only because again the double lumen would increase the chances of thrombogenesis and other complications. For less than 3.5 kg, we should use 5 French, but we can use 8 French catheter for infant more than 3.5 kg. At the time of preparation, few things are important, especially for extremely low birth weight infant. Cord should be cut around 1 to 1.5 centimeter from the skin. We should use mosquito forceps. We should first insert one of the limb of mosquito forceps in the umbilical artery up to 0.5 centimeter. Wait for 20 seconds. Once the umbilical artery is getting dilated, then you have to insert both the limbs of iris forceps. Insert up to 1 centimeter, dilate slowly for 10 to 20 seconds. Once it is getting dilated, you can easily insert the umbilical artery catheter. Umbilical venous point are very easily visible at 12 o'clock positions. There are certain troubleshoots you can encounter while putting umbilical artery and umbilical vein. So once you insert the umbilical artery catheter, you can find resistance at around 3 to 5 centimeters. So that resistance you would find around near once where the umbilical artery is crossing the pelvic area and entering into the internal iliac artery. You have to give a firm pressure for 30 seconds and position towards your side. While inserting umbilical venous catheter, you can find resistance at two levels, one at umbilical venous recess and second at ductus venosus. So it's a hit and trial method. You have to pull the umbilical venous up to 4 centimeters, rotate the catheter and reinsert and look for the backflow. The moment you get the backflow, catheter tip location should be there. For flushing, we should not use any size less than 10 ml syringe for any type of catheter, because if the syringe size is lesser than 10 ml, the pressure bearing capacity would be very high and it can damage the catheter. However, for umbilical lines, we can use 5 ml syringe because of the larger size of the catheter. To look for the catheter tip locations, we generally target three things. One is the T12, look at the T12 vertebra and target the catheter tip between T8 to T9. Look at the right cardiac silhouette position. We should keep the catheter umbilical venous tip just below the cardiac silhouette line, or we should target the catheter tip just at the level of right diaphragm. However, in certain situations, your catheter tip could be at various locations, but we should not tolerate catheter tip location at a red point because they are at low flow state conditions. Here, the risk of thrombogenesis is high and other complications would be high, like liver injury and the spleen injury on the left side. The ideal position would be the green dot, that means IVC-RA junction, but we can tolerate and accept umbilical venous tip at yellow dot positions. However, we cannot give any high concentration drug like dopamine or calcium. When catheter tip location was compared with X-ray and ultrasound, it was only found that only 66% time the catheter tip was at right positions when it was confirmed with ultrasounds. There are certain risk factors for malposition of umbilical catheter tip locations because of very low birth weight, IUGR and SGA position, because your calculation can be wrong. We know that after 24 to 48 hours, the umbilical cord gets dry. So if that position of catheter tip change up to 0.54 centimeters, and sometimes it can be changed because of the limb positions movements of the baby. That is why role of ultrasound is important. While doing ultrasounds, we need two view subcostal sagittal plane to look for IVC-RA junction, and we should target the umbilical venous tip at red dot position, that means IVC-RA junction. However, we can tolerate and accept the umbilical venous tip at yellow dot positions. The second view is parasternal short axis aortic view. So here we look for whether the catheter tip is either at right atrium or crossing to the left atrium. So look at this ultrasound. So this is that is parasternal short axis view, aortic view. First look at the vertebra. In front of the vertebra you will find the aorta. Then slightly tilt the ultrasound probe towards the right side, angle towards right side. You will find the IVC and the right atrial junction, and you can find the parallel white long line tip, and you can see the tip is at IVC-RA junction and crossing into the right atrium. So we'll confirm it in the next view, that is parasternal short axis aortic view. So in this view, you can see easily that your catheter tip is not only in the right atrium, but crossing through the foramen ovale. So after confirming the ultrasound, you can withdraw the catheter and redo the ultrasound to confirm the position. To conclude, we need a polyurethane and silicone material for size 3.5 and 5 French should be enough for all the infants. For flushing, we should always use 10 ml syringe for all the catheter central lines. However, for umbilical artery and umbilical venous, 5 ml syringe would be enough. Continuous infusion of heparin would be required for umbilical artery, and we should use 0.25 to 1 unit per ml of heparin. We don't need to add heparin in umbilical venous if the infusion is continuously going. We should remove umbilical artery catheter by 5th day. We should not tolerate after that. Umbilical venous catheter should also be removed as soon as possible, but we can tolerate up to 14 days. Thank you friends for listening.